Everyone get ready because we're about to do a deep dive on the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, 8 teams are left, and
New Orleans is calling their names.
that's right. And we have, you guys sent us over this awesome article from NFL.com, and it's not just about Super Bowl odds.
Wow.
It's about expert confidence rankings.
Oh, so who do they think is going to win? But
Yeah, so 5 different NFL experts
Oh, wow, okay.
rank their confidence in each team, and then we kind of averaged all those together to get a total confidence score. And we also have Super Bowl odds from DraftKings, and it's interesting to see where the experts and the odds makers kind of differ.
Yeah, because one might be higher on one team than the other.
Exactly. So are the experts seeing something that maybe the odds makers aren't?
Oh, this is exciting. I can't wait to get into this.
Well, let's start with the team that has the experts the most perplexed, and that is the Houston Texans. 8th seed, 11-7 record. They got a wild card victory, but their confidence score is a 5 out of a possible 40.
But they just beat the Chargers, though, on the road. And the experts are giving them no love.
Basically none.
Jeez.
But I think if we dig a little deeper, we can start to see why there's so much hesitation.
Okay.
Remember, their regular season point differential was 0.
So they could have been winning by a lot, but they weren't.
Exactly. They were just squeaking by. They weren't dominating. And to win the Super Bowl, they would have to get through the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and then likely the Bills or the Ravens on the road.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, talk about a gauntlet.
Yeah, that is a tough road.
That's a tough road. And speaking of the Chiefs, they are our next team up on the list. Confidence score of 34, number 1 seed in the AFC 15, and 2 record. DraftKings has them as the favorite at plus 350 odds.
So yeah, they're reigning champs for a reason, home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, and Mahomes, you can't count out Mahomes.
Especially his divisional round record. It's insane.
Yeah, but one expert mentioned that the Chiefs' offense hasn't been as statistically dominant this year.
That's true.
Are they slipping, or
I don't know.
is there something else at play here?
It's a good question, right? Because their overall yards and their total points scored are surprisingly middle of the pack.
Oh.
So maybe teams have figured out how to slow them down, or maybe they've been coasting a little bit because they know they got Mahomes to pull out those wins.
Yeah, because why use all your energy if you know Mahomes is going to save the day?
Right, exactly.
That makes this potential matchup against the Texans
so interesting.
very interesting, because if the Texans' defense can somehow figure out whatever weakness there is.
Right, and their offense can keep pace with Mahomes. That would be a huge upset.
It would be wild.
Speaking of upsets, how about the Washington Commanders? They snuck into the playoffs at 13-5, and then they shocked everyone by taking down the Buccaneers in the wild card round.
Yeah, they are this year's Cinderella story, for sure.
Definitely.
But their confidence score is only a 10.
Only a 10.
Are the experts waiting for the clock to strike midnight on this magical run?
I think there's definitely some skepticism there.
Yeah.
Because their road to the Super Bowl would potentially include 3 straight road games against top-seeded opponents.
Oh, my.
And their Super Bowl odds reflect that long shot plus 2,800.
Yeah. It's going to take perfection.
Pretty much.
And then some.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of luck, but
A little luck.
they already defied expectations in the wild card round, so who knows?
Yeah, maybe Jaden Daniels has got some more magic up his sleeve.
A couple more tricks, maybe.
Yeah.
The playoffs are fun for that reason. That's why we love the playoffs, so unpredictable.
Exactly. And we've got the Los Angeles Rams coming up next.
Yeah.
They got into the playoffs 11-7, but they finished the season winning 5 straight, including a pretty dominant victory over the Vikings in the wild card round.
Yeah, they absolutely steamrolled the Vikings.
Yeah.
And their plus 2,000 Super Bowl odds suggest that maybe people believe in them, but their overall confidence score is a 15.
Oh, okay. So right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
So are the experts buying into this late season surge, or?
I think it's a little bit of both. There's acknowledgement of their recent momentum.
Yeah.
But there's also concerns about their consistency.
Right.
Remember, they had a really rough start
They did.
to the season.
Yeah.
They lost to both the Eagles and the Lions, which are teams they could potentially face again.
Right. And those are both teams in the NFC.
Yeah, exactly.
So did they peak too early because that late season surge? That could mean that they are hitting their stride at just the right time.
It's possible, and I think a big factor to analyze is what changed for them. Was it personnel coaching adjustments, or did they just find their rhythm?
Yeah.
That's something to think about as we move forward. But let's not forget about the team that handed them one of those early season losses, and that's the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills, okay, so 14-4 record, pretty strong finish. They dismantled the Broncos in the wild card round. but their confidence score is a 25.
Lower than you might expect.
Yeah, for a team that's got Josh Allen.
With Josh Allen at the helm and plus 550 odds to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple of things going on here. One, their potential playoff path includes both Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs potentially on the road.
I mean, that is brutal.
Yeah, the AFC is a bloodbath this year, but the Bills are undefeated at home this season, and Josh Allen is capable of putting up points against any defense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not counting them out.
No. And their home field advantage is definitely a factor, but they did lose to the Ravens earlier this season.
That's true.
And I think that has to be in the back of their minds.
Oh, for sure. Especially because they might have a rematch coming up.
Exactly. That's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Ravens, they are next on the list. They come in at number 3 with a confidence score of 33.
Right.
13-5 record, 3rd seed in the AFC, and currently on a 5-game win streak, every victory by at least 14 points.
So they are rolling.
They are rolling.
They are looking like a force to be reckoned with, and I see their Super Bowl odds are plus 475. Yeah. So, I mean, people are believing in them.
Yeah, and Lamar's playing like an MVP candidate. Their defense is swarming.
It's like everything is just clicking for them at the right time.
Yeah.
One expert even called Lamar Jackson the biggest X factor in these playoffs.
I mean, he really could be.
But even with all that momentum, they still have to get through that AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, that potential path to the Super Bowl is just as tough as the Bills, right? They'd likely have to go through Buffalo and then potentially Kansas City at Arrowhead.
Oh my.
It's a testament to their strength that the experts are still giving them so much confidence.
Yeah, because that is not an easy road for anyone.
Oh, buddy.
So Bills and Ravens.
Yeah.
That is going to be a showdown in the divisional round. I cannot wait.
Me neither.
That's going to be good.
It's going to be good. But before we get too caught up in all the AFC drama,
yes,
we got to talk about the NFC and a team that has shocked everyone by claiming the top spot in the confidence rankings.
The Detroit Lions.
The Lions.
15-2, record first seed in the NFC, and a confidence score of 35.
Whoa.
The highest of any team.
I'm surprised. I mean, I knew the Lions were good this year, but to be ranked above the reigning Super Bowl champs, I know, it's crazy, right?
What are the experts seeing?
Well, I think a couple of things. One, they have home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs.
Okay.
Huge advantage. And two, their path to the Super Bowl is seen as a little bit less grueling compared to that AFC gauntlet.
Right, because they don't have to go through...
They don't have to face a Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes.
They don't have to face all that, so I get that.
Right.
But can Jared Goff really lead them to a Super Bowl?
That's the big question, right?
I mean, he doesn't really have the track record.
Not really known for his playoff heroics, but the experts seem to think he can.
All right. Well, this is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable playoffs in recent memory.
For sure.
We got surprising favorites, underdog stories, matchups that are already giving me chills.
It's going to be an incredible ride, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
We are.
But before we dive deeper into all these storylines, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be analyzing those teams whose narratives stand out the most, those whose stories have captivated the experts and have us all on the edge of our seats.
Welcome back, everybody. We just laid out the expert confidence rankings and the Super Bowl odds for all 8 teams.
And there were some shockers in there.
There were.
Who would have thought the Lions would be at the top?
I know, right at number 1, but that just goes to show this season has been full of surprises.
Oh, yeah.
And those surprises are likely to continue as we head into the divisional round.
Speaking of surprises, let's go back to the Texans, because I'm still trying to figure out that low confidence score, especially after that wild card win.
Yeah, I mean, they're facing the reigning champs on the road at Arrowhead.
Not exactly a recipe for confidence.
No, not really, but it's not just about a low confidence score, right? They took down the Chargers in LA, a team that many people thought could win the Super Bowl.
That's true, and on the road too.
Yeah.
So they've already proven they can handle that pressure.
Exactly, and the Chiefs haven't been putting up those crazy video game numbers that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't been as dominant.
So maybe there's a crack in that armor that the Texans can exploit.
Yeah, but they're going to need C.J. Stroud to really step up big time here.
Oh, yeah.
Outduel Mahomes.
That's a tough task.
It's a tough task, but I mean,
anything can happen.
This is the playoffs.
It is the playoffs.
And we love underdog stories. And speaking of underdog stories,
you got to talk about the Commanders.
Washington Commanders.
They had their Cinderella moment against the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay.
They did.
And now they're heading into Detroit with all that momentum.
But their road to New Orleans, it's like climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops.
Yeah, someone said that.
I know.
3 straight road games.
It can be tough.
Against higher-seeded teams, that's a challenge for anybody, even the most experienced playoff veterans.
Yeah, but they have shown they can handle the pressure. And Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's really stepped up.
Yeah, he loves the clutch moments.
Yeah, he seems to thrive in those pressure situations.
So, yeah, the experts might be hesitant.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count the Commanders out just yet.
No, I mean, their confidence might be low with the experts, but I think their confidence in themselves is pretty high.
Yeah, they believe in themselves. That's all that matters.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the Rams now.
Yes.
They stumbled a little bit out of the gate,
A rough start.
but they finished the season on fire.
5 straight wins.
And that statement win against the Vikings.
They crushed the Vikings.
So-
Definitely made a statement.
It looked like the Rams of old,
Yeah. The Super Bowl champs.
but there's still hesitation with the experts.
Yeah, that 15 confidence score, I think it suggests that maybe they haven't fully shaken off those early season inconsistencies.
Yeah, because they did lose to the Eagles and the Lions.
Exactly.
Teams that they might have to play again.
Potentially.
But don't you think there's something to be said about a team that peaks at the right time?
Oh, of course.
Like maybe.
I think that's the key question with the Rams is, did they just find their groove late in the season? Or is this a sign of something more sustainable?
Okay.
They've got veteran leadership.
Yeah.
They got Stafford at quarterback who knows how to win big games.
Plus, their defense was insane in that wild card game.
Oh, yeah, they were all over the place.
If they can keep up that intensity,
They could be dangerous.
they could be a problem for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, Bills, Ravens.
This is the matchup.
This is it.
Everyone's talking about this one.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
2 of the best quarterbacks.
In the league.
Going head to head.
The Bills have the home field advantage.
They do.
But the Ravens are on a 5-game win streak where they have just dominated.
Every team they played.
And don't forget that earlier this season, the Ravens demolished the Bills.
In Baltimore.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they have that slight edge
Yeah.
in the confidence rankings.
But-
But I wouldn't underestimate the Bills.
No, especially at home.
Especially at home. They are undefeated in Buffalo.
And Josh Allen can put up points.
On anybody.
Yeah. The unstoppable force versus immovable object.
I think it's going to come down to the wire.
Oh, me too.
It's a revenge game for the Bills, a chance for Lamar Jackson to prove everybody wrong, and for both teams, a step closer to the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's talk about the reigning champs, the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs' 15-2 record.
Home field advantage.
Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. On paper, they look like the team to beat. There's always a bend.
But they haven't been as dominant as we've seen them.
Offensively, and some experts are worried about them coming off the bye week.
Right. Could they be a little rusty?
It's possible, and they do have a Texans team that just pulled off an upset coming in there.
Yeah.
But I'm a little hesitant to jump on that Chiefs are vulnerable bandwagon just yet.
I mean, they have the experience.
They have Mahomes magic.
Right. And they know how to win.
They do.
And their defense has been getting better.
Quietly improving throughout the season.
So they're always a threat.
They're lurking.
Okay, so let's recap here. We've seen underdogs, late season surges, playoff battles that have us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
It's clear this postseason is wide open.
Absolutely. There is no clear-cut favorite, and that's what makes this so exciting.
Absolutely. But before we move on to our final segment, we want to know what you guys think. Who are you backing? Which storylines are you most invested in?
Head over to our social media and let us know your thoughts. We'll be right back with our final segment where we'll break down the playoff picture even more and offer some thought-provoking insights that just might change your perspective.
We are back, and I am ready for some mind-blowing insights.
Let's do it.
So we covered the confidence rankings, the Super Bowl odds, all those narratives surrounding these teams. But now I need that bigger picture perspective. Like, what have we learned from all this?
What stands out to me is just how wide open this postseason really is. I mean, we've got the familiar powerhouses like the Chiefs and the Bills, but then we've got these up-and-comers.
The Lions.
The Lions.
The Commanders rewriting the script, and it makes predicting a Super Bowl winner almost impossible.
Yeah, and we've seen upsets in every round of the playoffs already.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, any given Sunday.
Right. But I think this year it's more like any given playoff game.
Any given playoff game, I love that.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen.
And it's anyone's game.
Think about those Texans.
The Texans, yeah.
the experts almost wrote them off.
Pretty much.
And they pulled off a huge upset
against a team.
against the Chargers.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it could go all the way.
So it's a reminder that those confidence rankings, they're interesting,
Insightful.
but they're just one piece.
One piece of the puzzle.
The real story unfolds on the field.
That's where it happened.
And that's where those underdog narratives
Yeah.
and those unexpected surges, they come to life. And I think it's not just about individual teams, right? It's about the matchups themselves. Take the Bills and the Ravens. That potential matchup, it's not just Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson.
It's more than that.
It's two different styles of play, two explosive offenses, two defenses that can just create havoc.
Yeah.
And the outcome of that game could come down to a single play,
It really could.
a single moment of brilliance.
That's the kind of matchup that you're just glued to your seat for.
Absolutely. You're biting your nails.
And then there's the AFC Championship picture.
Yeah.
Could we see a rematch of last year's AFC Championship, Bengals-Chiefs?
Ooh, that'd be good.
Or will a new contender emerge?
It's a great question. And I think it just highlights how much talent there is in the AFC this year.
Yeah, it's stacked.
But let's not forget about the NFC,
Right.
where we have the Detroit Lions, the #1 seed, rewriting the story of what it means to be a Lions fan.
Okay, I'm still a little skeptical about their Super Bowl chances.
That's fair.
But you cannot deny what they've done this season.
They've been dominant, and they have home field advantage, which could be huge, especially if they end up facing a team like the Eagles or the Rams
Right?
in the NFC Championship game.
Okay, so their path to the Super Bowl, it might be less grueling than the AFC, but they can't overlook anybody.
No, they got to stay focused, they got to play to their strengths, and they got to prove that this regular season success wasn't a fluke.
So what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners as they get ready for these playoffs?
I think it's embrace the unexpected.
Oh, I like that.
Don't get too caught up in the predictions or the odds. You know, this is a reminder that anything can happen.
Literally anything.
And that's what makes it so fun to watch.
So embrace the chaos, enjoy the ride,
Yes.
and don't be afraid to root for the underdog.
Because this year,
This year, the underdogs.
it might be the ones writing the final chapter.
All right, so we're wrapping up this deep dive, but we want to leave you with one final thought.
All right.
Don't just watch these playoffs, experience them.
Yeah.
Analyze the matchups, dissect the strategies, and appreciate those moments of brilliance
Yeah.
that make the sport so special.
Love it.
And most importantly, have fun, because these playoffs are going to be unforgettable.
They are.
And before you go, we want to hear from you. Which team do you think is going to hoist that Lombardi Trophy in New Orleans? Let us know your predictions on social media, and let's keep this conversation going as the playoff drama unfolds. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.